Have you been getting enough sleep? I love sleep. I've loved sleep from the day that I was born. I know Mom even said, Shannon, is there anything you do besides sleep? I love my sleep. So I happen to know that getting the right amount of sleep for me and my body, being in touch with my body, having to be through injuries and car accidents and hypoglycemia, sugar and nutrition. I'd been given a lot of antibiotics as kids that my body was just, my immune system wasn't reacting right, and that sleep was one of those things that was causing me to get repaired in my body. And so when I ran across a great friend of mine, Dr. Jim Moss at Cornell University, he had said, he's actually the author of Power Sleep, and he's the real author of the Power Nap, you know, the 20-minute power nap we should all be getting. And Jim had said to me, he was working with Olympic athletes. In fact, Jim and I did a cruise together on Crystal Cruises, and he was a speaker and I was a speaker. We were kind of comparing notes about athletes in general, and I had asked Jim, you know, what was the real difference in your athletes? And he says, oh my gosh, when we started training this particular figure skater in getting the right pattern of sleep, the performance level of this Olympic skater soared to an entirely different level that no training could have done at all. And so one of the tips I want to give you today about sleep is that most all of us are deprived of sleep. We need more. How do we get more? I mean, I know that my grandmother, she wakes up so early and she says, oh, I just can't get back to sleep. I'm used to getting up. I don't even need an alarm clock anymore because when the rooster crows, I'm up to hear it. And one thing we can do is start with a couple easy tips, and I'll relate this to the golf game here in just a minute. But first tip is that we need a cold room, a very cool room, between 66 and 68 degrees. You know, if you can stand it a little cooler, that's fine. And then we need a dark room, very dark. You don't need any lights at all in your room. You need to be able to see no exterior light whatsoever. And then the third thing is we kind of need to get rid of that alarm clock. I know it's difficult when you're going to work. Even my husband has his alarm clock go off and hits that radio, that Bose radio, and puts it on the snooze, and I'm like, honey, get up, it's time, you gotta go. And so when we want to get to the point where we don't need that alarm clock to wake up, and if we are needing that alarm clock, it's probably saying that we're deprived of sleep. And one area of sleep that you make up, it's like a bank. We have a sleep bank. And in this bank, you can go to see Dr. Jim Moss. Again, it's M-A-A-S, but he is the one with the Power Nap or the Power Sleep book, and you can get all this information in there. But he describes that we have this bank, and when we lose sleep, let's say, for instance, that most of us need about 8 hours of sleep, and let's say that we get on average about 6. Well, every night we're losing an average of 2 hours of sleep. And you add that up over 10 years, that's hundreds of hours of sleep that are missed. Can you make it up? The answer is yes. But for every 1 hour of sleep missed, you need 2 to make it up in your bank. And it becomes difficult. We think, oh gosh, that's just going to be forever, where I'm going to be sleeping until I die. No, you won't. But you need to get into a pattern where your body can start repairing itself. And listen, now let me take it into golf, why this is important. Number one, if you take a golf lesson, right, you get to your golf instructor, it says, oh, you've got to change this in your swing, we need to work on your grip. Maybe they give you 3 bullet points, and your body responds, and it needs to make these particular adjustments, let's say grip posture and a particular downswing motion. So you went to the instructor, you spent the money. Now, if you go to bed that night, first of all, let's say you've had a glass of wine, let's say maybe even had a beer, who knows, and then as soon as you mix alcohol, and there's a part of your brain called the hippocampus, and I'm sort of going to abbreviate this in some ways, but your hippocampus stores this short-term lesson that you took. And you have a couple drinks of wine, and the hippocampus goes, oh, I'm just getting so nice and relaxed, it's no big deal. And about the time you go to sleep and you're finally in bed and your head's to the pillow, the long-term memory comes knocking on the hippocampus door. Hey, hippocampus, what you doing? Did you do anything today? Do you need to give me any information so that I can store it into the body today? And hippocampus goes, oh, leave me alone. I'm tired. I had a long day. I don't want to talk to you tonight. And of course, long-term keeps trying to knock on that door and get that information. So if you don't get enough sleep, you will not create the REM cycle properly, which stores this information that you took from a golf lesson, adheres it into the particular memory banks of your body so that you can get a repetitive swing. Here it was, you paid for the lesson, you're looking for this repetitive swing, and then just because you're not getting enough sleep at night, or you're having a little too much to drink, you need to get rid of all that after your lesson. Have a clean slate, get enough rest after a golf lesson, and hopefully it will adhere to your body. Look for 8 hours of sleep. Most people who do get about 7.5 hours of sleep, I think that statistic should only be about 3 to 5% of the entire nation only should be getting less than 7 hours sleep. But most of us, between 96% of us should be getting 8 hours of sleep a night. And some of those tips I gave you can help. Get your sleep. It will help your golf game. It will improve your repetition on your swing. And I'm sure it'll make you happier too. So enjoy it like I do. Go to sleep.